I don't know what it is. I don't change any settings, but there's like for some reason Steph always has a different volume level every single time. I don't change.
Well,
I don't change anything.
this
It's
could
just
be multiple things, being either, well, my headset being quite old, so it's just doing a lot of things. Me constantly fiddling with the mic, which means its position is somewhere between 10 centimeters and 2 kilometers from my mouth. What else could it be? Yeah, me changing the volume level that I have for you guys all the time. So when I hear noise, I change my noise level or something when I'm talking. So yeah, it's not you, it's me, I'm guessing. Which is coincidentally also what my ex said. Come on. Normally this is a good joke. Seriously, no reception. Oh my!
I was sorry. I was momentarily distracted, so I wasn't listening. So you missed.
I'll be honest, I was thinking, what on earth is going on here? I was like, part of me was like, I think he's trying to make a joke here. Is he trying to make? Is it like headphones stuttering, or is it? But for whatever reason, I just wasn't getting it.
Oh my! Well, this is another one for the.
This is another way. You know what? This is how we start it. This is a great way to start it. We don't. All this thing of I need to prepare an intro before we come on, or before I come on here with you guys. No, I don't. With it, like something could just happen naturally, and this time it's a headset joke that brings us to the beginning of this podcast. Hello, everyone. How are we all doing? I don't know why I'm asking that, because we can't get your immediate response, but never mind. This has gone great, hasn't it? Going back to where I'll introduce my co-hosts, same as always, and they're better than me as the co-hosting role. We'll start with Lombo. Say hi.
Hello.
Hello indeed. And Steph, say hi as well.
Hi. I actually followed
Listen.
the assignment of saying hi instead of hello this time.
This will be the only time, probably the only time this will ever happen. And I need make the most of it. Make the most of it, ladies and gentlemen, and myself, because, well, who knows what craziness we'll come up with the next time we do one of these. Anyway, we got some things to talk about. I mean, we are coming up to the end of the racing year. I mean, F1's only really active now. WEC is going to go to bed for a while, and then we'll try and rely on Asian Le Mans for our endurance racing kicks. I mean, I wouldn't call Macau isn't really endurance. It's just a couple of sprint races, really, isn't it? So I don't know. I wouldn't really say it's endurance, but I guess it's GT racing and stuff. But hey, anyway, and then there's this golf. I don't really follow the golf thing all that much. It just doesn't. I think it's more the circuit just doesn't really interest me well, say it doesn't interest. It doesn't really create the most enthralling of races. Let's put it that way. But oh well. Anyway, it keeps us busy from a dull winter. I guess we'll start with F1 because, well, that's as people say, it's the biggest racing series in the world, and we all must sort of see it as the biggest racing series in the world. So I guess we'll talk about that first.
I think it's just mandated that we pay attention to it.
Exactly.
It's in the contract. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. It's I mean, look, love F1, but there are other racing series which are just as credible. That's all I'm going to say on that one. Anyway, aside from that, this weekend we've actually confirmed. Well, in my opinion, at least, we've effectively. That's hard to say quickly. We've effectively, in my opinion, confirmed the world champion for when we get to Yas Marina. So
it's not count anybody out. I think still.
I mean, no.
I mean, anything could happen at like Vegas and stuff like that. It's easy to hit a wall or something like that. So,
well, but yeah, Vegas is certainly like the last oddball circuit. Yas Marina, like I've kind of iterated earlier, sort of, you can get okay races, but then they're sort of like few and far between. And Qatar, well, I guess tires is more of a thing. Tires can be a big question for Qatar, but yeah, I mean, all I'm trying to say is that Las Vegas is an oddball and can create chaos if it wants to. and the early forecast suggested we could get rain. Yeah,
That's very, very early.
yeah, exactly.
I don't trust weather forecasts that are more than 24 hours in advance. And even then, I don't.
Well, to be fair, they did. It's a bit like, for Brazil for the sprint race, it almost felt like it was like 100% chance that we are going to get at least, maybe even like it was almost guaranteed. It felt like to me that we were going to probably get like a delayed start, and this was seeing the forecast for the morning before the sprint race, and then we get to it, and then it's mysteriously when I turn on the television that I only see the start finish straight be damp, and then the rest is mostly dry. It's weird how it works. So, yeah, I mean, I don't know what sort of people felt about their. I mean, I'll just sort of rate. I say sprint race out of 10, probably in terms of racing quality, 1.5 to 2. It had dramatic moments, but they weren't really down to racing.
It was down to a puddle.
It was down to a puddle, well, a couple of puddles. We had Bortoletto's, like the biggest F1 crash of the season. Glad he was all right after that.
Yeah.
And that was down to a puddle, or like a bit of a damp patch. And then we had a puddle that did Brazil 2003 almost all over again. So
yeah,
that was. I mean, that was something. The actual main Grand Prix itself. It's really good. I say really good. It's Brazil. Like a Brazil Grand Prix never fails. I can't remember the last bad Brazilian Grand Prix, and just makes me wish that this would end the season, or like we just put Brazil in December.
It's almost like it used to be the last, or it's almost like it used to be the last race of the season.
Still remember Brazil 2012 to this day. What an event! Last Grand Prix of the season. It didn't matter that Abu Dhabi was a couple of events before. Oh well. Anyway, that aside. I mean, look. I said that it was the Grand Prix that probably decided the title. I mean, it sounds like at least Lombo, you're not quite ruling out the Piastri or the well.
I don't know. Yeah, I mean, I'd like it to be more exciting than that, but yeah, I mean, obviously the big thing to talk about would be whether or not Piastri actually deserved a penalty or not. That seems to be the biggest conversation topic.
It's also an easy one. No, he didn't.
He didn't. Yeah, he didn't. But yeah.
For me, it was just, I don't think it was really anybody who deserved a penalty. I mean, Leclerc was unlucky. Antonelli just sort of had, as I say, nowhere to. He had a little bit of space on the outside.
He had places to go. He definitely could have gone wider. Like,
well, yeah,
you can't just pretend. Well, let's just also say this. If he'd done what he should have done, which is, just give Oscar space, that would have been better for probably everybody, including him. So, yeah, I mean, it's not as if he didn't know that he was there. He did. It's just, I don't know. I don't understand how they could give that a penalty when, I don't know, I guess their justification is that he was uncontrolled or whatever, but he was on the curb the entire time. The lockup was immaterial. The only reason that the lockup even happened was because the track falls away. So, I don't know. I struggle to see the justification with their own rules of why that deserved a penalty. Only if you're maybe considering consequences, which they're not supposed to do.
Yeah, it's just one of those. I mean, if this is what the rules lead to, then might as well throw the rule book out.
I think so too. I think this obsession with the apex has done a lot of damage to the racing. I think that there's a lot of times when people have committed, to moves that, yes, they make some kind of arbitrary judgment at the apex, but I don't think that is actually when people are committed to the corner. They're committed way before the apex. So I don't know.
Yeah, that's the thing. Like generally on all of those moves that get penalized, where the apex argument comes up, it's someone
Hmm.
diving in from a distance back. Now going into the braking zone, all three of them were pretty much even. So there is
Yeah,
absolutely no argument to be made that he came diving in. And
yeah.
like you said, track falls off, Antonelli is already, moving inside. So
Hmm.
obviously, Piastri has to try and move into, an even tighter line, which he can't do.
Hmm.
So for sure he's
I
going to lock
mean,
up
he
there, but
tried.
not like he was out of yeah. But for sure he's going to lock up in this situation. Like
Hmm.
what else do you want him to do if he keeps going straight to have the maximum braking performance? He's going to hit Antonelli as well.
I need, but that's the thing. The rules kind of encourage that though, because that's like, that's the typical max move. The typical max move is to just steam in there with way too way too much speed and just like barge everybody out of the way. And that's apparently the ideal way to go racing. And who cares if you stay on the track or not? I mean, that's usually the way things go. So I don't know. It's what Charles should have done is just pull the max and just cut the whole first sequence of the corners, like at Mexico. That would have been better and safer for him.
This is why, and I don't think anyone either watching or you two will remember, but I said on a number of podcasts, was it? It might have been the first one we ever did, or it was. I think it was
I
in
was like,
response to like
wow, you were on a number of podcasts. Oh, you're famous.
oh no,
And
hold on, I remember. It was when we did USA. It was when we did USA last year and the Lando Max incident. And I
Mhm.
think I came up with a suggestion that we don't have any racing rules, and that we just
Yeah,
and that we
I do
and that we
remember
just
that.
effectively what we do is we come up with okay. We apply. I know that. Okay. What I just I think since then I'm going to try and adjust maybe how I say what basically have the rules and take what we have as they are. And like, if you want to sort of have a set of guideline, or like use them as a reference, but I wouldn't say necessarily explicitly follow them because racing has far too many variables of car positioning, throttle, braking position, steering angle, all that sort of stuff. And there are going to be scenarios where even if technically by like guidelines, or even if like even theoretically speaking, let's say a similar situation happened at a different track or whatever, there's still going to be tiny little nuances which could always throw out like I don't think any incident, even if like there's like a theme going on, like there's like no one incident is identical to another. There's always tiny little things, and I think you know maybe in certain instances, like if we had the exact same situation, or there was some tiny other little nuances that happened, like maybe it is that maybe you could say, well, it is a penalty, but actually, like figurative, not figuratively speaking, but just visually speaking, and you look at all the data, look at all the onboards and the external cameras, from at least from my point of view, that is not a penalty from the aspect of it's just everyone was trying to avoid a collision. It was unfortunate, but it's a racing deal, and irrespective of who was at an apex or who turned in where, or like who was being ambitious or what, it doesn't. It's a product of racing that unfortunately does happen every now and then. Contact is going to be a thing, and it was unfortunately Leclerc that came on the bad end or the worst end of all of that, but that's just how it is, and it doesn't really matter if you, in my opinion, if you just follow guidelines, because racing is so there's so many variables you can't. There isn't necessarily one set of rules unless you make the rule book like a trillion bazillion pages, which is not like make a book that's as tall as the Eiffel Tower, for example, and you're still not going to cover every scenario that there is.
I think what you're saying too is, well, the consequence of that is you're giving a lot of authority to the stewards, which I think pretty much every F1 fan is like, we hate the stewards, or at least we wish they were more consistent. We wish they had a, you know, consistent, stable group of stewards that just ruled on every incident rather than a rotating group of stewards, and therefore you don't really know what kind of result you're going to get. Because I feel like if you just give them even more authority to judge racing incidents, you're just going to end up with, even more things to be mad about.
There might be people, there probably is going to be at least some people who, I think we're all, like us three, all united on the view that no penalty should have been given to anybody. But, like, there will be some people out there who may just think, oh no. But in fact, we even during the broadcast, I think Brundle and Croft seemed very, they were on the view that, oh yeah, Piastri probably should have been expecting a penalty to come from that one. But so yes, there are different views.
Well, he also said that in every instance, like given that opportunity, a driver was going to do that.
Oh yeah.
Like they were going to, like a driver would take that opportunity every single time. So,
like I said, no, it was just completely undeserving, this penalty. It's just ruining the races. It's ruining the races, ruining the racing. It's ruining everything that was once good about it.
yeah.
So yeah, if stuff like this continues, then God knows which state it's gonna end up in, because you'll just run into another. We're basically going to run into the next completely nonsensical situation after the ahead at the apex stuff being exploited and whatnot. So it's just running from one ridiculous thing into another, and they really need to figure this out, because it's just becoming a laugh at this point. I mean, if it's going to continue like this, then they might as well introduce playoffs or something.
Don't give them any ideas. It's coming.
No.
That'll
be you wouldn't have heard that, audience. That'll be edited out, I'm sure.
Yeah. Yeah.
We're not going to give any ideas on that one. In terms of other aspects of the race, obviously Verstappen did a great drive. I don't necessarily know what we can contribute to that, though, other than by saying, "Wow,
good job, Max."
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. Well done for proving once again that you're very good. Which is, I don't know what else there really is to say on that. I mean,
one could even say the best.
well.
Yeah. I mean,
I'm not.
he probably is
to be
the
fair,
best,
I'm not.
but he did have a new engine. He did get the advantage of a safety car. But even still, you know what? All the time, every single time that Max has some amazing drive, he almost always has a safety car to help him catch up. Almost every single time.
Yeah, but the safety car was quite early on, though. So
it was quite early on.
He had to make another stop because of the puncture, so he did lose. I don't know if he lost track position.
Why did he get that puncture, though?
Position.
I don't know.
No, stuff happens.
I think he lost a bit of track position initially, but it sort of helped him later on because he'd already kind of made a stop.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it helped him later on because he had better tire.
Yeah, for sure.
Strategy.
So maybe he gave him more flexibility towards the latter stages, so he could kind of.
Yeah, I think the even less so than the catching up with the safety car helped him. It was the changing tires early and having that freedom to do whatever you want. It makes that makes a big difference too.
Yeah.
But yeah, his pace was amazing, and obviously he drove a great race. So
yeah. Do we think that if he stayed on the medium tires, do we think he could have won, or is that just complete and utter pie in the sky thinking?
I don't know.
Difficult to say. I mean, you didn't know what was left in there, but you also don't know what was really left in Norris's tires.
Yeah,
I
think he probably could have been faster.
So I would have loved to see it for sure.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, guessing he wouldn't have tried it, but if it was a midfield team, they would have tried it. Or at least I would have expected them to try. I would have tried it, but I'm guessing the position they were in, that maybe the risk was too high. Yeah.
Well, I guess technically Lawson kind of did it and then created I mean, as I described, the Liam locomotive, not the truly train, the Liam locomotive. So, well, I guess maybe it should be Lawson locomotive, as truly is the surname. So anyway, anyways, but
That's good, actually. I like that one.
yeah, watch watch that make waves on the internet. Lawson locomotive. Nah, probably not. Anyway, we talked. I think we. I was gonna say, I'm trying to think of anything else from the F1 race that's worth.
The best thing from the F1 race was the parade lap with the dinky cars. That was the best and most entertaining part of the weekend.
I must say, I really enjoyed the Brazilian Grand Prix, but I have to admit that they were pretty awesome. Especially like it brought reliability back into motorsport.
Yeah,
Motorsport. So
2 of them broke down. Yeah.
I love. I didn't realize this at the time, but now we know where the Williams drivers went.
Oh yeah, they did a complete shortcut. Yeah.
I didn't even know that was possible. It just used a tiny section of
Crack knowledge.
Yeah, the old circuit was I think the one that was used in like the 70s. Yeah, the original Grand Prix out from 1940 to 1979 was 7.9 kilometers and a pinch under 5 miles. So anyway, but yeah, it was using a unique piece of track. I mean, I'm going to put this. I mean, we've had the Lego cars. We've now had these.
Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe F1 should try and dabble more in some weird and wacky stuff instead of getting all the drivers to sit in sort of classic cars or off-road buggies or this sort of thing. Like, actually, let them have their own little stupid race. I mean, we've all been clamoring for it in a way. We've all kind of thought, do you know what? Wouldn't it be great if we just had all the drivers, the current F1 drivers, on the grid, and we just gave them like a Clio Cup car, and then just let them race around a circuit. That's the sort of thing that will never happen. But let's just give them something like really silly.
Yeah, like something silly, just slow, and it's a bit of fun, and they can have fun, and I think people like it when we can be entertained and they can be entertained as well.
What are you gonna do when one of those drivers has a Clio Cup moment and flips it and gets in and can't race?
Exactly.
What are you gonna do?
See, that's why we have to limit it to like under 15 miles an hour.
What a one-make series is? I was about to say Porsche Carrera Cup. No, that's not slower. The MX-5s. I think they're kind of similar pace to Clios, I guess.
Actually, put them in Fun Cups.
That's kind of ideal.
That's brilliant. What a shout! That's a brilliant shout, actually.
You know what they really need? They need those Aussie racing cars. They should do that in Australia with the little motorcycle engine.
Oh yeah,
the tiny ones. Those would be great.
Oh, brilliant!
For all the US races, we give them like Arca.
Yeah,
like
or late models or something.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Actually, get them like in like a sort of a Legends car. Put them around. I was gonna say Bowman Gray, maybe not Bowman. Like, what's that little infield oval at the? Not. I don't mean the Roval. There's like a
Charlotte. You mean like at the start? Yeah.
Yeah, like the 0.25 or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah. The one
from start to pit lane and back.
Yeah,
just running around there. Yeah.
Haven't they raced buses on that layout as well? Or if I seem to recall, I not F1 drivers, but just random. But like,
I want F1 racing, figure 8 bus racing to happen.
You know what? Maybe we can test them on like a Wreckfest lobby, see how they get on, and then we can.
That's a thing. That's something that actually happens. They genuinely do that.
I know, and I don't. It's crazy.
Honestly, I love figure 8 racing just as a thing. Like, it's genuinely insane watching them shoot those gaps. It's crazy.
And then sometimes when they don't get the gaps,
I mean, most of the time they do. So
how they do it, I guess it's. I guess they must have incredible spatial awareness just to sort of think, okay, well, if I take this, but then at the same time, you've got to predict how fast the other drivers are going to make the. I don't know. It's
yeah, it's all about predicting the gap.
Yeah, it's Or mini challenge. That's like, and I don't mean like the newer ones. They're sort of the original BMW version that was released in like early 2000. You know, they're not that fast. Actually, get them around. I don't know. You may have not seen them because I don't think the coverage over for people outside of the UK is very easy accessible. But basically, we have had minis, those slow original minis around Thruxton, and it's an absolute blast to watch those things go around. You know, just give them those as well. And I think they're definitely slower than Clio Cups for sure. So that will satisfy that aspect as well. Anyway, we've really got distracted, but that's not a bad thing. That's not a bad thing.
F1 should race everything except F1 cars.
I'd be really good actually. I mean, it's, to be fair, the support, but sometimes the support program isn't exactly extensive, and I know why it sometimes isn't, because, well, they dedicated to parades and other stuff and big build up to the Grand Prix. Like you know, get rid of all that. Just get all the drivers and just put them in whatever, you know, just whatever random race cars, and then just make them go around. I think we've solved such a huge problem of F1 race weekends. There you go. So anyway, I guess we'll go on to WEC now that we've thoroughly discussed. Well, say thoroughly discussed. I don't think there's any other podcast that would have gone from the Brazilian Grand Prix weekend to let's sort of discuss how F1 drivers can race all kinds of other weird and wacky stuff. But anyway, that's by the by. Yeah, there was WEC this weekend. Full disclosure on my behalf, I haven't seen all of it. I've only seen, like, I'd say about half of it because of F1.
SMH.
I know you can maybe SMOH for me, shaking my own head. So, I mean, other than the obvious Corvette and BMW moments once again, other than that, you know, I've seen some bits of it, but I guess I might have to rely on both of you to carry the bulk of the conversation on the WEC front. So, and to be fair, it doesn't always help that for me, Bahrain is just not a track car. It's never like WEC at Bahrain just never really gets my juices flowing. It's that I always think it just like it's just okay. That's about as good as I can normally say. But oh no, maybe I missed an absolute belter. Did I?
It's moments. There was some good racing.
I mean, I enjoyed it in general, I'd say.
Yeah, I'd say I enjoyed it in general.
It was quite a decent race, you know. It was nice to see Toyota getting a break.
Yeah, the one time. Well, they were always good at this track, so
yeah.
I guess I think the most disappointing thing for me, and I think kind of an embarrassment for them, is, you know, obviously there's a lot of safety cars. Well, the 2 safety cars and some intervention with that. If there weren't those, like without that intervention and sort of shuffling of order, then I think the highest LMDH car was going to be in 10th place. Like in the way that the race was going at the beginning of the race, like it was just filing into just LMH cars at the top, and that's it. Like none of the LMDH cars had like any chance, like at all, which I thought was kind of, I don't know, didn't exactly speak well for them trying to balance the two.
But I mean, the thing is, you could go and argue that it's something to do with how the LMH hybrid system was giving them a lot more advantages.
Yeah, I think it just helps.
But the thing is, then which argument are you going to make for the Valkyrie? Just that it has an incredibly good BOP.
It has an incredibly good BOP. I mean, it's, you know, the lightest and the most powerful car, I think, still, along with the Peugeot. So, you know, it has that advantage for sure. I mean, it's kind of like, apart from the increased tire wear, still, like, it's pretty much the ideal car for racing. It's like blisteringly fast down the straight, They can hold off like anybody. So I don't know. That part was a negative, but there was, some good racing between the LMH cars, and I enjoyed most of that, and the part of the balance wasn't good, but the racing was still decent.
Yeah, I mean, for a moment it looked like we'd get another good Peugeot result in, but yeah, those dreams kind of faded as well.
Yeah, they looked good at the beginning, but they had some bad call up. The safety car didn't help them usually. It usually like set them back into the field. So
yeah, that's slightly suboptimal for them, which is a shame. I still kind of like the Peugeot.
Everyone likes it. It's an underdog. We want it to do well finally.
I guess sort of slightly unrelated, but there was news of the older Peugeots potentially going to have a shot at Le Mans as a privateer entry for I must admit I've forgotten the team. It was like BBM or something like that.
Yeah, I think it was something like this. But they run all the old Peugeots apparently.
Yeah.
So I mean, nice, good. I'm looking forward to it. Would be really cool to see him in privateer action. And apparently Peugeot is very supportive of it as well, and is really helping them out. So
I mean, they're probably going to be the only ones in that class. So I guess, or at least
it's a start.
I don't know who else is going to be in that. They said something about I don't know. They're probably going to have to slow down the LMP2 cars because of the bronze drivers and the hypercars, which I still think is a bad idea. But I don't know.
I mean, just also in general, like in terms of grids. I mean, I guess theoretically speaking, I don't know if Proton seem to indicate that they won't be doing anything, certainly in WEC, relating to their 963. Whether because if there is a bronze driver who will want to do it, then maybe they still have the 963 in their hands. Then come that Asian Le Mans series season, they may, we may see them again. The thing that I guess a slight concern. I mean, for me, that like there must be at least some interest, because otherwise, if they knew there was going to be, if they've got no interest, think, oh well, okay, well, no one seems to want to do the hypercars in the Asian Le Mans, so why should we bother? But clearly, there must be some element of interest to have these people do it. But then I've seen it, like, the thing that I seem to remember, it was like, it was either the Proton or the JDC 963. I can't remember which one it was, but it was a 963. And I think I seem to recall that he said something on the lines of how really tricky it was for him to be comfortable with. Now, he is one of the better bronze drivers, I would say. I mean, yes, perhaps one of the more charismatic and one of the more favourite bronze drivers, if you will. But I'm just, think of it this way: if he's struggling in his mind to think, or even unless I don't know if he said he enjoyed the experience, but if he says that
I think he said he did not.
I think, yeah, okay. Well, in that case, then, like, isn't it going to be like? Isn't it not going to be?
I think I was in the Proton, but yeah, I don't really see. I mean, obviously, bronze drivers can do whatever they want. They can, they're more likely to be a gentleman driver. So, they can spend their money however they want, including a hypercar, I guess. They're all pretty much really complicated cars, and I don't really know. I mean, obviously, if you enjoy that, fair enough. Maybe not everybody is the same as shares Ben's opinion, but we only have his to go on so far of, people that are, not professional drivers' opinions.
Pretty sure he is the only bronze-rated driver to have driven a hypercar of any sort, I think. I mean, unless something comes to my head.
Maybe I don't remember some of the drivers, like, what was it called? No, I'm completely blanking on the name now.
Do you mean the Glickenhaus, the Van Wall, or
the
Isotta Fraschini, or
the Isotta? I don't know if one of them was maybe a bronze, but they were more like just a junior driver and
Nah,
not.
they were silvers.
I think there were probably silvers. Yeah.
Yeah, I think Sarah Vale and Alwatana
Bennett.
Bennett. I think they're all silvers. Yes. So yeah, I mean, yeah, I do. I mean, clearly there must have been some interest because otherwise the ACO wouldn't have just sort of well, unless they are simply because it says the Bob Burridge's BBM Sport is the operation. They I think it says we're up to 2 wingless Peugeot 9X8s as the first privateer operation to have signaled intentions of joining. So I don't know if they're just literally just only them saying, well, hey, we've got 2 wingless Peugeots. If you want to make a class for us and specifically us, then yeah, then we'll take the prize.
They did signal it before that they were thinking about doing it. I don't know. I don't really see it happening.
Yeah,
But, if there are rich people that want to make it happen, then I guess it will happen. It will happen.
I mean, if I'd be up for seeing it. It's more that I just don't like. I think we need to just see. I think we need to see. As time goes on, we need to see what more interest there is and see, like, is it just going to be like 3 or 4 cars or like something like that? Or
well,
I don't know.
most of the manufacturers haven't even said that they really want to sell their cars. So
Exactly.
I guess one of my other things in the WEC race was there was an incident between the Cadillac and a Ferrari in it, and Button got a 30-second stop and hold for it. And I don't really understand how it was a penalty, but I don't know. It was one of those things where the prototypes were like splitting a GT car, and he sort of went to the outside where there was a gap, and then the gap disappeared, and the Ferrari sort of hit the side of the Cadillac and spun out and hit the wall. Now, I know, obviously, I feel like the penalty was taking into account the consequences, and obviously it was, a prototype on a GT car, but I still don't really see what Button could have done to like not have that collision, because they show the replay from Button's point of view, and I really can't really see what he did wrong. So I don't know.
I must admit, I do agree. I think it is just unfortunate. There's not really a whole lot that could have been done on that one, but oh well, it is what it is, I guess. I guess before we move on to other things, there was something from Sports Car 365 which indicated that I think for as soon as 2028 that we might, or there was some discussions that a new manufacturer might be entering with an LMDH car, but we didn't know what that brand was. So, seeing as we know absolutely nothing whatsoever, do either of you have any thoughts? Just say who you may even hope gets introduced. Let's just put some wacky ideas out there. Go on.
Was it for prototypes or GTs?
Prototypes.
LMDH
Yeah.
was what it said, apparently.
Oh, see, I was going to go for a rebadged Peugeot into a Chrysler, but now you say LMDH. I'll go for Mazda.
Mazda coming back. I mean, that's everybody's dream, I think. I feel like the most likely is probably Mercedes. They're already racing, and I think they're one of the few manufacturers that are racing that don't have a prototype of some kind. So I sort of feel like that's probably the most likely one. I don't know if there's any other European brands. I can't really think of any other than Mercedes that have a racing. Yeah, MG is coming back.
MG LMDH, yes.
It could happen.
I mean,
Skoda goes LMP racing.
I mean, Lotus, no, probably not. I'd say. I mean, I was about to say Kia. No.
I mean, Hyundai's already there, or going to be there.
Yeah.
So I don't really see the point. Maybe it is going to be like a Chrysler is just going to make its own LMDH. They don't want to be stuck with the Peugeot.
But wouldn't it be so much more fun if they just rebadged the Peugeot
It would be. That would mean I think that's what everybody wants, but
into like
I
the
don't know.
Chrysler,
Yeah.
whatever sporty model they might have, LMH,
Yeah, just
the
Chrysler
neon
300,
LMH or something.
300C grill just plastered onto the front.
Oh no! Oh dear. Yeah, yeah. I mean, how about we go into like old like Plymouth, Oldsmobile, LMDH? How about all of these sort of long
Plymouth
forgotten?
comeback. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. I mean, they're kind of like in terms of like there wasn't that long ago that there was. I think there was like the odd rumor that maybe the Peugeot was going to be rebadged and compete in a IMSA races. I think it as a Dodge or something, but they obviously don't seem to have happened so far.
There's one other thing we could talk about with the WEC besides the speculation is of the new like BOP success ballast or whatever they're talking about. I think part of the intention was to make it so that the power spread and weight spread was a lot less, and then the success ballast would go like on top of that. I think that would hurt some brands. I think if you're like Peugeot, you'd be like, please no, but because you're just going to be woefully uncompetitive if they narrow the spread of power and weight. I think it depends on whether or not they put it per car or per brand. I think they're going to have to put it per brand because otherwise it seems like there would just be one dominant car and they would just sort of like swap around race by race depending on who has the most ballast. But I don't know. It's something. I don't know if it's a solution to the BOP issue that seems to come up every race.
Whether it's a fix or not, watch this space.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, we'll have to see.
TBD.
Yeah, very exactly. I think we've gone over everything sports car racing wise. I guess the other thing that we planned to discuss was seeing as since our last podcast, NASCAR the NASCAR season has ended. It ended up with Larson champion, and some feelings.
Start where we can start with the only positive championship, I'd say, which is trucks. Where the
at least that person was deserved. Yeah.
Like Corey Heim, by far the most dominant. I'm not gonna say he lucked out on it, but it could have ended up a lot worse for him. Great move to seal it though on his side, or at least to move up before the last caution. But yeah, trucks was the race that saved NASCAR for a day.
One day, and then the next day.
The Xfinity race happened. Which thing is, like, we can talk about Cup all you want, and I'm absolutely heartbroken for Denny, and he deserved it. But
yeah,
that is not an undeserving champion. Let's make this clear. I think everyone wanted to see Denny win, and up until 5 laps from the end, it was going to be Denny who was going to win a championship. Until obviously, Byron kind of hit a wall. Which you can argue, should they have put out the caution? For me, no, but it was consistent with what they've done all race long, so you can't argue it. But yeah, and then the 4 tire call was obviously, yeah.
It could have gone either way. That's the thing.
Thing is though, like on the earlier restarts, the 4s they needed more than 2 laps as well to overtake the 2 tire cars. So yeah, for me the thing to do was either take 2 or have all Toyota stay out, because you'd have Denny and Chase on the first row. I think you'd have Brad with Reddick, or Bell with Reddick, and then Bell with Keselowski, and then behind them, who else stayed out? I can't remember. Was it Bush? No, someone else there as well. Can't remember. With Reddick, so you'd have plenty of lines between, Denny and the other 2, the first guys who took 2 tires. So I don't know. I think they would have been able to hang on, or had he just gone for 2. And as well, on the restart, Kyle did a good job around the outside, and then he got kind of blocked in. So he really had nowhere to go on the inside, which is a shame. But yeah, Kyle is not an undeserving champion. I think that's the least we can say about it. But yeah, there's obviously one quite big in the room, and you might say it's not just an elephant; it's the entire safari, and that's the Xfinity series, where you have the record-breaking Connor Zilic and the one race-winning Jesse Love.
I think he won like the first and last. I think he won 2, right?
He won 2 in total now, but up until then, it's just, and you can't blame Jesse for this one. And congratulations to him. They played the game as it is. But come on, this just does not feel right in any way. And no disrespect to Jesse again. It's the greatest moment of his career. But I think we all know that he was not the deserving champion.
I mean, it's hard to argue.
I think what you can distill it down to is, do you believe in the concept of a championship? As a championship that includes many, your performance over the entire season, and someone winning because they just happened to be in the last, they've managed to not be eliminated until this last race, and then they win the last race even though someone else won a dozen other races and you've only won one. It doesn't really feel like deserved that person was, if we believe in merit, like some sort of merit-based, that's the entire point of a championship, is giving points based on, how much merit you have in each individual race. Making some races at the end mean exponentially more than some other races doesn't feel honest to the idea of the championship as a whole.
I'm going to try and say it like this, because I think, the way the playoffs, they've sort of, I guess they've been created, is I've heard this thing of Game 7 moment being brought up, but the thing is, right, I don't watch American sports. So for me, I don't even know, Game 7 moment, I don't even know what sport that relates to. I mean, that's how, this is how sort of alien it is to me. But I hear Game 7 moment, and all I can imagine in my head is it must mean, okay, the last ditch kind of effort, or in my head, if it's in football / soccer, it's you win the league by literally the last kick of the ball, and it happens to be a goal, and that gives you points to win the title. That's what, in my mind, Game 7 moment is meant to mean. The reality is, you'd all, technically speaking, you'd want motorsport, or you'd want any sport to have a dramatic, incredible finish, or something that can be remembered forever, and all that sort of thing. Well, sport isn't always like that, but and I think I've even said this on the podcast before in the past, but sometimes it's okay to have a dull race, because not not everything is going to just be, because this is the thing I hear with the full season thing of, but it's not going to be that exciting. Drivers will just drive to a certain amount. The playoff racing hasn't made the regular races any more exciting. It hasn't made the playoff races or the championship race any more exciting than it would have been without it. Yes, yes, there's the dimension of, the last race now means that we can crown a champion, and it guarantees that we crown a champion. Sure, but I'll be totally honest with you, of the race of the season-ending races, in terms of an actually racing product, I mean, I guess this year's was not too bad, but the only other one I can remember that was even that had a sort of major moment was Homestead with Carl Edwards, and I'm not necessarily sure that is for the best reasons, so to speak. So it's not even as though it's made racing better. It's because they're not memorable. The races aren't. They're no better than what we. So this is the thing that I don't like. People who there are people who say that we can't have full season because races will mean less, or drivers will just be a bit more calm and so on. Like, no, it doesn't. It doesn't necessarily mean that. It's just, yes, there will be duller races and more exciting races. That's how it goes. That's how racing works. Sometimes that's just it's not like sometimes racing is allowed to have a sleepy day. You know, I'd love it if it wasn't the case, but that's just not how it is. Just it's okay. Like, you know, you'll get that incredible moment. Like, you know, F1, it doesn't have an exciting season. The utmost respect, it doesn't really have that many exciting season enders, so to speak. Yes, we like 2016, 2021. You know, they've been in their own ways very memorable. There have been others which have not been memorable whatsoever. 2023, probably in particular. But that's what makes the 2021 and 2016 and 2008, for example, that's what makes them memorable because
I'd
they
like to
don't.
argue against 23 not being memorable because what you see there, a lot like 2002, is people who have absolutely perfected their craft.
Okay, that's true. Okay,
And this is something that's even more unusual in the highly competitive nature that they are in. To be this good and this dominant and this deserving, that those are performances for the ages, you know. And I get it, that's maybe a bit less interesting to always see the same guy win, but once you start to appreciate the beauty of it, of someone being this good, like, you know, prime Jeff Gordon winning everything.
Yeah.
It's stuff like this. It's just those people are the best, and the teams are the best, the drivers are the best. They're just doing the best job and are being so much better than everybody else. It's probably the most impressive thing you can do in a racing season. And now imagine if you'd have a season like this with playoffs.
Chirac Jr. is the closest I can think, and even then it was. I mean, it was. It's always had its doubts along. I say always had its doubts. Like there was always the fear of, oh well, the most deserving guy wouldn't win it in the end. I mean, okay, I'll take back 2023. That was not a good example. I'll say 2019, where Hamilton had a quote unquote dominant year, but it wasn't entirely dominant, and it was sort of like he sort of just managed his way to get to the title. But it wasn't an enthralling season. There was no point in it that made you go, oh wow, I'm really doubting that Lewis Hamilton's gonna win the title. Like there was never that point, but it wasn't like a Verstappen 2023 dominant season. So so maybe that's probably a better example, so to speak. But yeah, it's. I mean, honestly, just at the moment, I mean, seemingly what's going on with what will happen with the playoff format next year is we may not either get playoffs or we'll get potentially the chase or like 3-3-4, which
Full point season. End of. That's what we want.
It's the guys are only thinking about one thing.
Full point NASCAR season.
oh no. I'm in total agreement, and I mean, I hope we get it, but like, there's like the only time I'll properly believe it's actually happening is once it's announced. If it's announced, I'm still like, I know what I'd like.
Oh, I'm sure it's not going to happen.
Well, it'll either be. I think the most. I feel personally that it will be a 10 race chase is what I think they would do as like the compromise. I mean, yes, it's kind of like it's a lot better than what we have at the moment, but it's like to me, it's not the solution.
I still don't think this is what we want to see. It's better, to me at least. I find it better, but
oh well. Well, with that being said, we're still not going to leave the NASCAR topic, but we're going to head south to Mexico because for our Van Gisberger, for those who aren't aware, the Van Gisberger is the section of the program where we take well basically a left field or like a funny moment that maybe is potentially meme worthy, but we don't think perhaps gets the attention that it ought to. But anyway, Steph is kind of Steph was the one who brought it up in our little sort of group, so to speak. And yeah, do you want to just explain to our wonderful audience what
I'm
happened?
just watching it again now. It's just so funny, isn't it? Right, so just like a random shot from a live stream. You see a car in the barriers. Nothing new, nothing special. This happens. See one safety car pulling up. All very normal. And all of a sudden, there's a second safety car, a medical car that comes rushing in, completely misses the braking point, and slams into the side of the already stricken NASCAR.
It's not gone well. It's not done its job, I think, is the politest way you can say on that one.
The unsafety car again. Yeah.
I mean, these things very, very rarely happen. Well, I say these things very rarely. Normally, it's like if there is an intervention or like a safety car that gets involved in an accident, it's either one by itself, or secondly, when a race car collides into it, rather than the safety or medical car crashing into it. I mean, the only other example I can vaguely recall that's actually no, it's not even similar, but obviously, like in Brazil 2002 with I think those are Enrique Bernaldi, Nick Heidfeld, and then the medical car, which was then had its door somewhat.
I want to say somewhere in the 80s or maybe early 90s in a Formula series in the US, I think. You had a Jeep. What was it, a Wagoneer or whatever it was? No, I think it was an XJ at the time. Was on track to go and tow someone, I think. And one of those Formula guys, they were going past it because it's just a slow car on track, pulls in front of the Jeep and then, starts braking quite heavily for the upcoming corner. Obviously, Jeep can't stop. Locks everything out, just smashes into the rear of it once the Formula car starts taking the corner. This completely takes the rear wing off, which is also quite funny.
Is this what you think it is?
Yeah, this is what I meant. I thought this was in the US. This is funny.
Inexplicable Jeep Cherokee at Avis.
Or the one where in WTCC when the safety car pulled out, but way too slow, and I can't remember who it was in the BMW.
Yeah.
Comes flying around the corner, smashes into the side of it.
Oh, was it Frank Zangsler? Who
Was it
was
Engstler
that?
or was it Muller? I can't remember who it was. Yeah, it was Engstler. That was a good crash as well. Like that was a violent hit.
But yeah, anyway, that was. I mean, what we're just a little bit of a section of us going over safety car, medical car incidents, which, unsurprisingly, is very few and far between because that's not what they're there for. But
Top 10 safety car fails. That's our next video. Rating the face.
I have to. I think there's actually already a video on that.
I'm sure there is. I mean, of course.
Yeah, I think
in my top 10, that the GM is exec who crashed the ZR1 at Detroit into the wall.
That. I remember what
he got promoted as well. But anyway,
I actually okay. The thing is, right? I watched this live, but the thing is, you've also got remember, as someone from the UK, I'm fortunate in that I don't get any advert or at the time there was no adverts on IndyCar race coverage. So as the ESPN people cut away from their ad break, because the incident happened whilst they're on ad break, I think the UK, because we had a UK commentary team who come occasionally go in and then they'll talk whatever. I think they were about to talk about qualifying, and then they were showing this little. I think they were showing a little highlights thing of, oh, this is what happened in the qualifying session, and then they suddenly I hear. I can't remember the guy's name. He doesn't do commentary anywhere near as often now. But then, just suddenly, unexpectedly, there's this. He just comes in and he just says something along the lines of, and then the safety car has just crashed on the circuit as.
yeah.
I don't know how, because I think because Mark Royce drove that thing. He is I think at the time I don't remember what role he has, but now he's despite having that moment, he's actually redeemed himself to the point of where he is the head of GM or something like that. But he's whatever reason, it doesn't seem to have impacted his career all that much. So with that, I think we need to end the episode. I think we may be over 60 minutes. Who knows at this point? It's been fun as it usually is. But anyway, yeah, thank you very much for listening, and hope you enjoyed whatever whatever this nonsense and funniness has been. Either of you two have any final thoughts before we say goodbye or not?
We're good.
No, not really.
Well, I try and be nice just to make sure we cover all basis. But anyway, next podcast will be out whenever. I mean, depending on how things go. I mean, who knows? The next one could be the F1 driver tier list. Who knows? We'll have to see on that one.
Spicy.
Yeah, exactly. That'll be spicy. Or it could be a quiz. It could be the quiz. I still need to plan for that. But either way, look, whatever happens, there'll definitely be at least one or two more podcasts this year before. Well, actually, no, we won't go into.
We'll make promises we can't keep.
Yeah. Well, I promise that. Okay, no, I won't say that. Until the next one. Be kind to each other and enjoy the rest of your day. Ta-ra, everyone.